J. Irwin and Xenia S. Miller were incredible clients that believed that architecture and design can have a transformative impact on a community, and sort of brought that love of architecture and design to Columbus, Indiana. It's sort of like the most perfect story of a client-artistic relationship that exists. And the Miller House is one of the most important examples of a historic home. It was a collaboration between three incredible architects and designers of the mid-20th century.
We have the architecture of Saarinen. The interior is designed by Alexander Gerard, brings in a lot of color, and especially the garden here at Miller House. It's one of the best maintained Kiley gardens in existence. And so when you walk through the house, it's very apparent that the garden design was very intentional to the floor plan of the house. It's around 14 acres as far as the Kiley garden is concerned here, and this was essentially farm ground that ran to a floodplain to the Flat Rock River. So all of the garden is planted. You know, we see these huge white oaks, we see the beautiful European weeping beeches here on the back side of the house, and it's hard to imagine that these things were planted when the house was constructed, but it went from being just a piece of farmland and a piece of flat ground in Indiana to becoming this beautiful garden over the years.
Exhibit Columbus is a progressive preservation effort, ultimately for our community. It's an exploration of architecture, art, design, and community that celebrates this legacy, but is also meant to sort of bring our community and our public and our audiences along in understanding the value of the city and the places and the built environment within it. Soil was a 2019 Miller Prize recipient, and we gave them the Bartholomew County Courthouse as their site, and that was their charge, was to think about the legacy of this site, think about Columbus and its history, and then create a contemporary project responding to that. Part of Exhibit Columbus, the importance of it is it's about the afterlife of the materials that the designers are using. And so, yes, we wanted you to activate the site, but then how can that material live on in new ways? And Soil took that to another level with this project.
They wanted to use some sort of plant material that we could then take back here to the Miller House and install in the gardens. And so we always reflect back to Kiley's design and the original intention of his design here. And through careful consideration, we thought that the pool would be the best area to complete a section of this removal of the arborvitae and then replacement. The shrubs were terribly overgrown. They were growing into the custom designed gates by Alexander Gerard. A lot of the pool deck had been covered up by the size of these plants. And it also gave us an insight to the past. The pool was put in 1963, about 6 years after the house and the landscape was completed. And even with the years that I had been here and the ways I've experienced the gardens, I had never seen what the pool actually would have looked like historically. So that was an added benefit to this whole project, is that we were able to restore a complete section of the garden and a green room, as Kiley referred to some of these areas in the garden. And through that, we were able to have an area of the garden look exactly like it did when it was first planted, and have another 50 or 60 years of appreciation and enjoyment from tourists and guests.
And so to be able to create a temporary project that can then go and help restore the landscape of this important asset in our community was incredibly important and exciting for us. It became the quintessential story of what we hope Exhibit Columbus can be in the future.